A Druid in Psychologist's Clothing. E. Graham Howe's Secret Druidic Doctrine by Ian C. Edwards, Ph.D. Imagine a man who influenced the likes of Alan Watts, was a friend of Krishnamurti, whose work was lauded by Henry Miller, and had the audacity to challenge the great psychiatrist C.G. Jung during one of Jung's own seminars. Also imagine that this very man who authored 13 books and countless articles on the relationship between psychology, psychotherapy, philosophy, spiritual practice, and Druidry was left out of the history books and pushed to the margins of obscurity. Who was this man? This man was the early 20th century British psychologist and Druid, E. Graham Howe. Howe was a master psychologist, but even more so a Druid, whom he described as being masters of the art of living. He was a Druid in psychologist's clothing, a psychologist who used psychology and psychotherapy to convey his secret Druidic doctrine. Like C.G. Jung's Gnostically influenced Liber Novus, also known as the Red Book, which was the secret foundation for all of his psychological writings, Howe's Druidry was the secret foundation for his own writings. Howe's Druidry had one primary aim, which was to heal psychological suffering. Whether he was referencing psychology, philosophy, or spirituality, Howe pointed to the art of healing in all of them. E. Graham Howe was one of the first psychologists to integrate spiritual practice with psychotherapy, because he did so during a time when psychoanalysis was being established as a dogma. Howe was marginalized and even anathematized by the various psychoanalytic schools. This book will situate Howe within the history of psychoanalysis, showing his work in relation to Sigmund Freud, C.G. Jung, and Alfred Adler, just to name a few. It will also provide a summary and reading of his metaphysical psychology, illustrating his views on depression, love, time, war, self-knowledge, and psychotherapy as a way of being, and more. The book will also present some Druidic foundations of Howe's psychology in the spirit of the 18th and 19th century Welsh poet Iolo Morgannwg, whose own Druidry, like Howe's, was inspired, emphasizing more of the Druidic soul rather than blind allegiance to any tradition or belief system. Included in this book are forewords by author and Druid John Michael Greer and Jungian analyst and author Stanton Marlin. The collector's hardcover edition, limited to approximately 1,000 copies, is 6 by 9 inches with 272 pages. It is hardbound, 100 points, quarter-bound in Skivertex blue, Galashot, and Aswan dark navy blue, fine Italian book cloth. Gold foil blocking on rounded spine bleeding onto both front and back, blind emboss detail onto both front and back as well. Black and white interior with constellation jade silk end papers, gold headbands, and gold silk ribbon marker. Fully illustrated by Philip Muller, also known as Black Philip. Fine typography and layout by Joseph Uccello. Printed on Munkin Pure Smooth Cream 150 GSM archive quality paper. Comes with a numbered tipped-in carton plate signed by the author. If you're a new viewer and would like to stay up to date with the latest from Bibliosophia, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for our channel.